the two states. And we say that it's like a borderless, state. So we know what the issues are. We know that because the borders are not clear, sometimes very distinct, there is a tendency that people are very, very ferocious, or very wrong, would slip in and out. So we want to, ask you to have, that border, responsibility, so that we can continue, to live in peace and harmony amongst ourselves. I want to also thank you for the additional divisional, police stations that you've identified and you've rolled out for us. I'm sure they will also be well equipped, they will all be well staffed, so that the people in those communities can feel the impacts.
The meeting also provided an opportunity for both parties to reaffirm their commitment to sustaining collaboration towards ensuring the safety of lives and property in Lagos State.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. Away from security, the Lagos State government, through its various ministries, has been reeling out its scorecard over the past year. We begin with transportation, where the government says technology and innovation remain critical tools in improving traffic management and transportation across the state. Details in our next report. For decades, enforcing traffic laws in Lagos has been a battle of numbers. Too many roads, too many vehicles, and too few officers. But figures released at this year's ministerial media briefing suggest that narrative is beginning to change. Commissioner for Transportation Oluwaseun Osiyemi says automated number plate recognition cameras deployed across the state captured more than 737 traffic violations within 1 year. More than 16,000 vehicles were impounded, while over 1 million roadworthiness certificates were issued, as the state intensifies efforts to enforce vehicle safety compliance.
Good road is synonymous to less traffic or no traffic. So most times you see transportation would collaborate or work with Ministry of Works to ensure that we give them the traffic management plan for road construction. In essence, transportation is not in charge of road construction, but we provide traffic management assistance to ensure that the flow of work goes well. Why did I use that as an example? Yes, we are bringing in CNG buses. Yes, we know there's a need for the CNG stations, but we have an agency, the Ibile Holdings. They are the ones doing this in collaboration with with Ministry of Transportation. And I can tell you readily there are about 17 stations already and more growing. I can share the list of those stations with you where you can get the CNG. Of course, a lot of it is in collaboration with existing stations, but there are Ibile-owned stations also in Lagos State. I can share all of that with you after this meeting.
Now, Lagos wants to go further. The state is working with the Federal Road Safety Corps to introduce a Lagos-specific driver's license, a move designed to address gaps in license processing and integrate drivers more effectively into a digital transport system.
So we're also using this opportunity for people to use not just the road, let's use our waterways, let's use also the train, which is why Lagos State is investing so much in terms of bringing trains down, in terms of improving the waterways, so we can also give people a good experience and encourage them to go on the waterways. Yes, we know that the moment we can get that achieved, if you look at the data that we have 90 to 95% of people transporting, they use the road. Waterways carries less than 2% as we speak today. That is mind-boggling. Even the train is maybe about 4-5%. But the more coaches we get, I just shared a number that we've picked 3.5 million people on one corridor, which is Marina to Mile 2. You can imagine if that goes around the state.
The state government is also developing a new transport policy roadmap, a document expected to shape how millions of Lagos residents move around the city through to 2050.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. Healthcare delivery has also remained a major priority for the administration, with renewed focus on funding, infrastructure, and access to quality medical services. Here's the report. Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, while presenting the scorecard of the state's health ministry over the past 7 years, said the Lagos state government is driving reforms through mandatory health insurance and stronger collaboration with private health providers. He explained that the initiative is aimed at easing pressure on government funding and building a more sustainable healthcare system capable of meeting the needs of the state's growing population. The commissioner disclosed that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu had already approved compulsory health insurance for all residents, with implementation gradually taking effect across ministries, departments, and agencies.
That really is the instrument through which we want to achieve healthcare financial reforms. We hope to be able to take our insured in Lagos up to about 50% over the next 10 years.
Professor Abayomi also stated that Lagos is positioning itself as a leading healthcare destination in Africa through investments in specialist care, improved health infrastructure, and stronger primary healthcare services.
We want to be able to build modern health facilities for Lagosians. We want to definitely increase our production of health workers, start a healthcare financing reform, and look for the outputs, which means at least a 50% adoption of health insurance, achieving the target of 1 PHC, which is the bedrock of healthcare delivery.
He further revealed plans to establish a University of Medicine and Health Sciences to boost manpower development and tackle the shortage of health professionals.
We need a healthcare financial reform that's critical because it's all about money. We need to improve the working conditions of our healthcare professionals. We need to improve the living conditions of our professionals and facilitate the return of those that have already drained out of the country.
Special Advisor to the Governor on Health, Dr. Kemi Oguyemi, reaffirmed government's commitment to patient safety and urged residents to patronize only health care facilities accredited by HEFAMA.
So please, I will say this. If you do not see the sign of HEFAMA saying we have accredited it, don't use that facility. Ask us. We can tell you straight away. If you feel if there's one that has the sign, but they're not up to standard, tell us. So we rely on you as well to help us do our job efficiently.
The ministerial briefing forms part of activities commemorating the 7th anniversary of the administration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. In the education sector, the state government says ongoing reforms are designed to position tertiary institutions for global relevance and improve learning outcomes. Let's see it. The Lagos state government is intensifying efforts to improve tertiary education through international partnerships, digital infrastructure, and enhanced student welfare across state-owned institutions. Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Tolani Sule, disclosed this at a media briefing commemorating the 2nd term anniversary of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He noted that the state has strengthened collaborations with institutions in the United States, United Kingdom, and Malaysia to improve academic standards and global competitiveness.
The partnership seeks to improve the quality and competitiveness of all graduates in the state by focusing on infrastructure and security, curriculum development, and welfare, that is strengthening the support system and training of both students and staff. On strategic pillars of educational reform, global academic integration, the Nta Ch10, the partnership with the Northern Alberta Institute of Technology serves as a bridge between local talent and international standards. This program is particularly impactful in the following areas: curriculum synchronization. Students are exposed to Canadian vocational excellence, which is renowned for its hand-on polytechnic approach.
According to him, ongoing investments in digital learning infrastructure, transport facilities, and student welfare have continued to improve teaching and learning across tertiary institutions in the state. He revealed that more than 500 million naira has been disbursed in bursaries and scholarships to over 4,000 beneficiaries.
We are collaborating with Samsung, collaborating with Nta and some other tech-related industries. We have discovered that, yes, what is being taught in the university system may not be too adequate, and that is why we have chosen to collaborate with the industries and some other stakeholders. Aside from this, the ministry is intervening through the Job Initiative Lagos and Ego Digital Skills. These are initiatives that are promoting training for our graduates.
The Commissioner further stated that vocational training, literacy programs, and reading advocacy campaigns have been expanded to promote educational development and strengthen learning opportunities for residents across the state.
Guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. Beyond education and healthcare, Lagos is also intensifying efforts to drive digital transformation and improve public service delivery through technology. Highlighting some of the achievements of his ministry, Commissioner for Innovation, Science and Technology says the Lagos State government is strengthening its digital infrastructure through initiatives such as Lagos State Residents Registration Agency and the Lagos Identity Card Project. It disclosed that over 6.4 million residents have been captured in the state's residency database to enhance planning and improve service delivery.
So if somebody, for instance, is applying for a physical planning permit, usually if you apply for a physical planning permit, you need to bring your tax clearance. What happens today is that they will tell the citizen to go and bring your tax clearance. What if the database of physical planning can talk to LIRS? It makes the job of the Lagos State employees and the citizens much easier. So the enterprise architecture will unify all our databases and make sure that citizens are served much faster and much more accurately, thereby saving us a lot of time, effort, and money. As of today, we have mapped over 192 MPAs across Lagos State governments. We have implemented unifying standards across all databases, which means that all of our databases must be able to speak the same language.
The Commissioner explained that the state's e-governance and safe city initiatives are enhancing transparency, public service delivery, and digital traffic enforcement, with over 737,000 traffic violations recorded so far.
We have the red light cameras, we have the auto number plate recognition system. We also have the e-police system, that's the lane change systems that have been installed, and of course the registration violation systems. That's the systems that record whether you are on top of your vehicle registrations or your roadworthiness and things like that. What we have seen is that in the areas where this technology has been deployed, there is more than 50% better traffic behavior in those areas. And this is testament to the technology that has been deployed through our office.
About 3,000 kilometers of fiber optic infrastructure have been deployed across parts of Lagos, with plans for further expansion through private sector collaboration.
Guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. Meanwhile, concerns are growing over the environmental impact of unlawful dredging activities and the dangers they pose to infrastructure and livelihoods across the state. This report has details. Uncontrolled dredging activities are raising fresh concerns in Lagos as increasing demand for sand continues to put pressure on the state's waterways and coastal communities. Commissioner for Waterfront Infrastructure Development, Dayo Alebiosu, says developers within the Lekki-Aja corridor now source sand from Ikorodu due to depletion in nearby areas. He warned that unchecked dredging could worsen environmental damage, increase the cost of construction, and disrupt fishing activities by affecting aquatic life.
We've been working with Ladferry, Laswa, all of them. We look at those ones. Some we have to convert because we're looking at converting the Bariga jetty to a fish market, which will be a win-win for all of us. It means we'll be able to buy fish at cheaper rates. We have a lot of channelization works going on to allow for safe and smooth movement of not just passengers, but also fishermen. They use those channels as well. There are quite a lot. All of those ones that we had mentioned are actually there. Remember, we are also looking at, the Lagos State government is looking at partnering with foreign partners where funds are coming in, Afro-Exim and things like that. So we would, in the very near future, be seeing things happen like they did with Ministry of Transportation and Lamata.
Alebiosu added that some communities, including Ibeshe in Ikorodu, have also suffered damage to roads and public infrastructure linked to dredging operations.
How many of us here truly feel safe going on water? We have had cases where we've had requests from communities to build jetties in their communities. We went there were people at the town hall, only to find out later that after installing those jetties, they did not get the ridership that we expected. But those that are available, we've been working with Ladferry, Laswa, all of them. We look at those ones. Some we have to convert because we're looking at converting the Bariga jetty to a fish market, which will be a win-win for all of us. It means we'll be able to buy fish at cheaper rates. We have a lot of channelization works going on to allow for safe and smooth movement of not just passengers, but also fishermen. They use those channels as well.
The commissioner reaffirmed the state government's commitment to stricter enforcement and monitoring to curb illegal dredging and protect waterfront communities.
Guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. And as the drive for economic growth and job creation continues, the Lagos State government says support for small businesses and entrepreneurship remains a key priority. Let's hear it. Commissioner for Wealth Creation and Employment, Akinyemi Ajigbotafe, says over 4,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises have benefited from affordable loans and grants aimed at boosting business growth and job creation across Lagos State. He says the intervention facilitated through the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund provided loans worth over 4.9 billion naira, while grants exceeding 23 million naira were disbursed to support business expansion and sustainability.
The Employment Department implemented several strategic programs targeted at enhancing employability and connecting job seekers with meaningful opportunities. The Lagos State Graduate Internship Program was distinguished to bridge the gap between academic knowledge and industry requirements by providing unemployed graduates with practical workplace experience and employability training. The program equips beneficiaries with essential workplace competencies such as communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, initiative, and analytical thinking. Participants are subsequently deployed to reputable organizations across various sectors for a 3-month internship placement with a monthly stipend of 60,000 naira.
Akinyemi Adigbotafe added that beyond financial support, entrepreneurs also benefited from business development training, capacity building programs, and market access opportunities designed to improve sales and visibility. He further revealed that the state government partnered with organizations including the United Nations Development Programme to equip residents with vocational and technical skills in hospitality, construction, creative arts, and the green economy.
I'm pleased to state that since inception, the program has impacted over 6,500 graduates across 5 divisions of Lagos State. Particularly noteworthy is the successful placement of 2,005 graduates during the 2024 cycle concluded in 2025. The continuous success of the program is largely attributable to its unique 2-phase structure, comprising a 3-week intensive employability training, followed by a 3-month paid industry placement, which has positioned GIPP as one of the leading youth employability initiatives in Lagos State.
The state government says the initiatives form part of broader efforts to promote inclusive economic growth, empower residents, and create sustainable employment opportunities across the state.
Guests, ladies and gentlemen.
This week in Lagos, your window into the heartbeat of Africa's largest city. That brings us to the end of this week's edition of Smart Lagos. For more updates on policies, programs, and ongoing reforms, stay connected to us. I am Joy-Ken Abakpuya. Thank you for watching. Remember, a smarter Lagos begins with you. Stay safe.